What's up, everybody? Joe Prime here, and welcome to episode 2 of the Build Along series. So in the first episode we built our starter house. It's time now to upgrade it into a full-on base. We've got some big ideas for how we're going to do this one. So down here at the bay, we're going to turn this into a big dock. We're going to have a long fishing pier that goes down the middle, and then a spot on each side to put a boat. Then in the middle here, we're going to flatten this out. We're going to put a farm on each side, with a walkway up the middle that'll lead to the main house. I'm thinking about making it kind of a U shape, so it'll go out, and then we'll have a section down here that'll most likely be used for smithing, refining, things like that. And then on the opposite side over here, this side of the U will come out and turn into kind of the kitchen. We'll have all the food storage and all the cooking equipment and everything over there. And then in the middle will be the bedroom, the resting place, stuff like that will all be in the center here. And then behind the house, pretty much where our current starter house is, once we tear all this down, we're going to turn that into a tree farm. First thing we have to do is get the land set up the way we want it. So we got to get the different levels flattened out, get the area laid out, and start working on how we're going to integrate it all into the bay over here. So I'm going to go ahead and start working on that, and then from there, we'll start working on the actual build. Alright, so now we've got most of the area terraformed and kind of laid out so we can get a better idea of what's going on here. So this area down here will all be the dock and the fishing pier. You go up to the second tier, we'll have the farm plots. And then we'll go up to the final tier, and this will lead into the main building. Now, considering how wide this is, what I might actually do is kind of make the central area here, the living space, maybe a little bit thinner, and then kind of have it pull out more in the U sections on the edges. Not entirely sure how I want to do that yet. We'll play it by ear as we go along. I'm also thinking what might be cool, instead of just doing like a straight length here, maybe we'll do like a straight length as kind of a hallway gathering area, maybe put down some tables or something, and then do the living area as more of like a round section that comes out the back as like a bubble. But again, not 100% sure how we're going to do the building yet. Just kind of playing it by ear as we keep moving along. I'm happy with this area though. Got a nice area for farming. I'll probably end up splitting this one actually down the middle of each of these. So there'll be, what, 6 plots over here for the regular stuff. Then we have these for the seeds. These plots are big enough to put in 9 seeds of each, so we can put in carrot seeds, turnip seeds, onion seeds here. And then we'll have the individual plots for the growing down the middle. And then in the back here, where we'll put all of the bees, and then there'll be defense by the actual building itself coming around that side. So now that we've got the front section kind of laid out, we got our grid in place, we got the ground terraformed pretty much where we want it. Time to start working on getting the actual building set up and terraformed, and then we'll tie it all together and make it look pretty. So let's start working on that. Starting to get some of the building set up here, get the facade put in at least to get an idea of how it's going to look. And I think it's just too wide. I have this section here for the living quarters. I was thinking I could fill this hallway up with storage. It goes so far down to get around to where I want to put the kitchen. And then I'm not sure what I would do with this other hallway that's going to lead down to where the forge and stuff is. So it just seems a bit too wide. So what I think I'm going to do is actually rotate the farm 90 degrees basically. So we'll put the seed plots here and then turn these into extensions that go out this way. They'll cut a little bit more into the dock, but I think that's fine because there's a lot of space out here as well. And then that'll let us move all of this in to this line. And I think that'll work out a lot better. So we're going to go ahead and try that out, and hopefully that'll work. I think that'll give us just enough extension to be kind of a decent hallway, but not as crazy long as it is right now. It's just too wide to do what I want to do. So let's rotate that around, and then we'll take a look at how that looks. Rotated it around, split this into 4 different segments, so we can have carrots, turnips, onions, Then we got the blueberry and raspberry bushes filling up the last row. Then we'll have seed plots here and here, and another seed plot over here, and this extra plot used for thistle and mushrooms, and then these two will both be for barley and flax. Then I put on these little edges here that kind of overhang where the dock is going to go. So we got this one is going to have a windmill on it, and then this one over here, I'm thinking about putting bees on it. Might be a good idea to just duplicate it and put another windmill though. I'm not 100% sure how I want to go about that yet. I don't really have a spot over here to put the bees. I guess we could put them on this little row over here. Maybe even cut out an area on this corner and put them in there. Not 100% sure yet, so this is either going to be 2 windmills or 1 windmill and the bees. But we'll get to that as we get to it. Now, these probably won't extend all the way down. I think they'll probably stop somewhere around here, and we'll cut them off. This one, we might use this extra corner, set it up with like an Ida refinery down the road or something like that. So, we'll see how that works out. And then the other side over here where the kitchen goes, again, I don't think we're going to need all this space, so I might end somewhere around here. Cut this out, put like the chimney and the cooking stuff over here, which will leave us another big kind of corner area, which might end up being where we put the bees. And then just put another windmill up here on this instead. Not sure. But this is coming along. I think this size is a lot more manageable to work with. So we're about 8 meters wide by 16 meters. So those plots give us much better space to actually work with to build the main building. So we'll get back to working on getting the wings set up and getting the dock and the pier put in and the main building. There's still so much to do. This project has definitely turned out to be a lot bigger than I expected it to be, but I think it's going to work out well, and we'll have a base that will work pretty much for the rest of the game. I did decide to go ahead and swap out this platform for another windmill, so we'll have 2 windmills set up here instead of 1 in the bees. Extended out this little area here in front of the kitchen, so where we're going to put the bees down. And then speaking of the kitchen, we got some work in progress over there. We got the main entrance going down here, leads into the kitchen. We got storage set up over here, storage over there. So we got 6 reinforced chests total, which should be plenty for all of the food and ingredients. Got our fermenter embedded in the wall here, and just working on getting the fireplace set up. This slab here I'm going to leave open to put in an oven, and then over the hearth we'll put in an iron cooking station in the back. We'll move our cauldron up to the corner over here, and then I'll leave this side open because I know in the Bog Witch update, which is coming very soon, there's a new thing for making mead bases that you need to put over a fire as well. So hopefully we'll have enough space to put that in. If not, we'll figure out something to do with it when that time comes. But for now though, we need to finish working on this chimney and get this all closed up. I'm gonna have to go through and repair pretty much everything because it keeps raining. We don't have a roof up yet, so everything's being damaged randomly, but it's alright. We'll take care of it. For now, let's get this fireplace finished. Alright, things are really coming along now. So obviously the farm area is pretty much done. Got a bunch of stuff planted so that we can actually start harvesting, getting our food situation figured out. The kitchen is mostly done here. Pop in here. Got the hearth, the cauldron, the new mead kettle, got our cooking station, with this slot here to put in the oven. Got all of our storage installed. Got our fermenters set up. A little bit more storage over on the other side. Then we got our new food preparation table from the Bog Witch update. A serving tray up on the wall. Got our first feast set up out here. I'm probably going to leave one in here in the kitchen just because it looks cool and helps with the decor. But I'm planning on setting up a couple of tables in the main area so that we can always have a feast ready to go whenever we spawn back at the base or come home or teleport or rest or whatever. So we can just pop those before we head out instead of eating the food that we're going to be carrying with us. So that'd be really cool. Then this hallway down here, let's extend it out a bit. So for the main area I want to have taller walls, so I had to do a little bit of a jump up here and found a pretty good way of filling in the gap on that by just putting in some angled beams and stacking them on top of each other. So I think that's working pretty well, looks good. And then for the main area, kind of a work in progress on how I want to do the fireplace in here, but I think this is going to work. Kind of a raised hearth, and then we'll put the bed right in front of it. And hopefully we'll be able to get to the next tier of bed, which I think is the dragon bed, maybe? But once we put that in front of it here, hopefully it'll cast some cool shadows through the headboard, and that'll look fun. And then we'll set up all of our comfort items around it. And then at this point, I think it's about time to start working on the other side, get the forge area set up. We're gonna need so much more stone than I was really planning on. We've gone through, I don't know, at least 500 stone, probably closer to 750 stone at this point, and there's barely even any stone in this build at all. So to get the forge area set up, it's going to take a lot. I have to go mine a whole bunch of that out here, but it's coming along. We got good progress for the bones so far. Need to figure out exactly what I'm going to do with these hallways, because I don't want them to just be wasted space, and they also get really dark at night, so figure out something to do with that to make those look a little more interesting, and maybe make them a little more functional. The other thing I'm thinking as well is we're going to need some place to put in the hot tub eventually close to the base. I'd like to put it, you know, in one of these corners or something over here. Maybe we'll knock out one of these walls and cover them with banners to just make it a little fake doorway to get out to where the hot tub area is. I don't know. Something to think about, keeping it in the back of my head. Just haven't figured out exactly how we're gonna do it yet. Thinking about doing something interesting on the smelting side. So I want to keep the same idea we had in the main base, where we have the smelters kind of through a hole from the forging area. So I figure we'll put like the crafting or the workbench and the forge against this wall. Probably put their enhancements out here. But for the smelters, I'm thinking something kind of like this system. So we'll have the wall set up with access ports to put in the ore, and then we'll use a 45-degree roof angle just underneath of it here, so when it spits out it slides down and lands in this little slot. Then we can just pick it up from the inside. Let's test this out and see if it's working. So as the ore is done smelting, it should spit it out, have it roll down, there we go, and then we should be able to pick it up. Awesome. I think I'm going to do something like that. I'll set up 3 smelters along the back wall here with this system in place so they all spit out into the workshop. And then over here I kind of slab this out. This will be where we put the Ida refinery eventually. Probably wall this up for now and then knock the wall out and build it up once we get to that point, but leaving the slab there so we have room for expansion as we get to that point. For now, pretty happy with the way this is working, so I guess we'll go ahead and get some more of these set up and then get this whole workshop area up and running. We got all the smelters set up with their little delivery system, so everything gets spit back out into the main workshop. Our forge set up, our workbench. This area will eventually turn into an Ida refinery and possibly a blast furnace. So just kind of put in more of a temporary wall that'll get knocked out, and this will get expanded as we get there. Then we get all the improvements for the forge and the workshop. Some of them are set up on the inside here, and then particularly for the workbench, but even some of the forge ones are also set up on the outside. Once it just kind of look like they have that farm aesthetic. So it made it a little bit easier to manage the space, plus adds a little more decoration to the outside for the farm area. So I'm pretty happy with the way that's coming. And then went ahead and cleaned up the outside of the smelter mechanisms so you can't see all the chaos going on inside there. Pretty much all that's left now is to finish up the main living space, and then this space will be at least operational enough to upgrade it as we progress through the adventure, but to get back out into the field and start getting some more work done as we move into the mountains. But anyway, as far as the workshop goes, feeling pretty good about the way this came out. Everything's easy to use, accessible, tight, and there's still room for expansion as we get more stuff to put in here for our magic refining. So the skeleton of the living area is now complete. Got the roof put in, got some lighting so it's not so dark at night here. Did a little raised platform area for where the bed's gonna go. Once we go up to the mountains and get some wolf pelts, we'll replace this with a dragon bed. Hopefully that'll look really cool. So all we gotta do now is get this all decorated, get our comfort level up, and then once that's done, technically the base is fully functional and ready to go, but we do still need to work on the dock as well. Alright, so let's get this all decorated up, and then we'll start working on the dock, and then we'll actually be completely done with this base for now. And the decorating is now complete. We got our comfort level all the way up to 12 over by the bed. We'll get that increased even more when we upgrade to the dragon bed, and also get the hot tub installed in the backyard. And coming up pretty soon we'll be able to make the Yule tree as well, so get that comfort maxed all the way out. For now, we got the general storage in here for various stuff, particularly stone, wood, seeds, trophies. That one's open for whatever. Got our personal chest over here for all of our treasure. And everything's all set up nice and neat. So it's looking pretty good so far. Really pleased with the way this has turned out. It's a lot of good functionality, and it looks really cool. I like the way the ceiling looks here in the center too. It's very geometric. Pretty happy with it all the way around. So now we just gotta finish the dock, put up a defensive wall in a couple areas, and this base is gonna be able to carry us for a long time. Plus we have lots of room for expansion as well, so pretty happy with it. Let's go work on the dock and get this thing wrapped up. Now I'm gonna go ahead and call the dock done for now. It's not as elaborate as I wanted it to be. I think it looks pretty good. Extends all the way out here. You got slots on both sides for our boats. And you come out to the end. You got a chest to hold the fishing bait, a little stand for the rod. Come out here and do some fishing. There's a ton of fish around here in the water. Yep, there's one right there. Yep, there's another one. So, pretty good spot for that. I think I'm gonna go ahead and call this build done as far as this session goes. We do still need to put in some defensive walls around the outside. I think we can work on that during the actual playthrough. I want to go ahead and wrap up this build video and get back to doing the progression episodes. If you guys enjoyed seeing this base, think it looks cool, enjoyed the build, please be sure to leave a like and a comment down below and let me know. And subscribe to follow along for more videos, as this will be our main base now in the full playthrough, and our next stop is the mountains, which is going to give us some cool upgrades for both decorations and equipment. So looking forward to that, and I will see you guys in the next video.